A man dies a very sad death but wakes up in a game that he hates the most. Hello and welcome back to our channel Isekai. Today we are going to do a recap of the anime series called Trapped in a Dating Sim. Episode 1. Blackmailed to play the Otome game by his younger sister. The older brother begrudgingly plays through the game while chastising the game's characters and gameplay. Eventually, the brother completes the game under the conditions that his younger sister imposed on him. Just as he leaves his apartment, he begins to become woozy and loses his footing on the staircase down from his apartment, causing him to fall to his death, awakening in a younger body. He returns to his home where he's punished by his father in front of his mother and their guests, Zola and her children Rudart and Merce. That night in their shed of a home, the boy talks with his older brother about why they live in a shed while Zola lives in the mansion. As the conversation continues, the brother suggests they continue studying in order to qualify to marry someone in the academy. This and everything else that the brother explains triggers memories of the Otome game he played in his previous life and comes to realize that he's now stuck in the game he played to death. Now going by the name of Leon Fu Bartfort, he's forced to live his life in the Otome game he loathes. 10 years have passed since his realization, and he reflects on how in the original game the family he belongs to did not appear in the original game, making him a mob character. To keep himself prepared for everything that occurs in the game, Leon kept a journal of everything that happens in the game. Furthermore, he kept himself physically fit in case he gets roped into joining a war or minor conflict. His ambitions, however, faded over the years and seeks to enjoy himself as a simple mob character. On the other hand, Leon's plans are foiled when Zola sets him up with an arranged marriage to someone to whom Zola is indebted. The reason for this marriage is because their family is currently impoverished and needs money. And if Leon decides to reject the marriage, he'd be recruited to be a soldier and likely die on the battlefield. Once Zola leaves, Leon asks his father for a favor, and the following day, he takes a boat to a place where the Otome game's protagonist used it in her storyline. Soon, Leon is caught in a maelstrom that transports him to an island with an old abandoned ship. Investigating the ship, Leon takes out a sentry bot with his gun and upon reaching the medical bay, takes the ID card from the corpse of someone named Josie Moon. With it, Leon is granted access inside the docking bay where he finds an ancient ship that a giant sentry robot was protecting. A battle ensues between the two, and when Leon is caught by the robot, it asks him what year it is, and Leon's response confirms that the battle was lost. The robot details that a new breed of humans capable of using magic won a war that destroyed an old civilization. Hence, it's the robot's prerogative to eliminate the new order of humans. Being squeezed to death, Leon draws his short sword and uses its mechanism to fire it directly at the robot's eye, causing it to malfunction and faint. The robot uses the PAW system to talk to Leon, and notes that after he registers himself as the ship's new owner, he notes how he has traits of the old human despite being a new human. Giving a name to the ship, Leon calls it the same name, Luxion. Falling backward, Leon starts to lose consciousness. Back at Leon's home, Zola again chastises Leon for blowing his chance for marriage in order to go off on an adventure and die during it. Episode 2. Leon is set to become a knight thanks to finding an uninhabited island that he claimed as his own with Luxion. But unfortunately for him, adventurers, especially those who actively set out into the unknown and find stuff, are given slightly more prestige in the kingdom. So he gets bumped up to a baron, which means he doesn't go to the general classes like his brother, but instead has to go to the one for higher ranked nobles, meaning he needs a wife from the same grade, which means women who are like Zola. We then go to the capital where he attends the academy, serving as the start of the game. The 5 love interests, Angelica the Villainess, and some unknown girl named Marie who is triggering the game events show up, but Leon's primary concern is getting girls to attend his tea party. Not that he wants to host it, but they are desperate to get married. In contrast, Marie gets an invitation from the prince as he spurs his fiancée during what should be a compulsory event. After probably the third best character, only known as Master, converts Leon to the way of the tea. He actually makes an effort, but the girl he invites brings some uninvited guests, who are both rude and mock his hard work. Then Olivia, the heroine, shows up after being bullied and Leon invites her, which results in him getting to know her problems. He thus resolves them by calling in his older sister, Jenna, for advice on how to get Olivia in good with Angelica. Angelica tells her that as long as she remains in her place, she'll be fine to put on appearances. But when Olivia asks a question, she reveals her softer side. That also has her get to know about Leon. Thus you can see where the chains start to form around the threesome. They have a dungeon diving class where everyone is an asshole and wants to use Leon and Olivia as sacrificial pawns. Angelica gets outplayed by Marie, who is apparently the daughter of a poor viscount and gets bullied even more than Olivia. The 5 love interests come to her defense and leave Angelica out in the cold. Afterward, Leon displays no interest in the working of the world because he thinks it's a game setting and makes no effort to get closer to Olivia. After all, she's the heroine, so she'll be with the 5 love interests. Anyway, they get attacked by monsters and he fights them in a boring action scene before getting bitten protecting Olivia. Then the others show up to assist. Marie reveals she can use healing magic to patch up Julius in private, who gives Angelica the cold shoulder. Likewise, Olivia also shows Leon she has healing magic, which is the reason she was scouted. Leon still questions why it was different from the game when Marie looks back and gives an ominous smirk. Episode 3. The 3rd episode opens with some girls putting the torch to what appears to be someone's belongings, which happen to be Marie's stuff. Julius confronts Angelica about it since the ones responsible claimed that she ordered them to do it, which she denies only to be told to stay away from them. It leaves her in tears. Meanwhile, Leon and the others are whining about having to get married to these terrible women because Otome game logic. Then they discuss the issue of Marie being bullied and Leon realizes that said event shouldn't be happening until much later, and when Olivia talked to her previously, Marie mentioned she hates girls like her. Of course, then they spy Marie getting into a kissing session with one of the 5 and Leon gets worried. We then get confirmation that Marie is a reincarnator as she thinks to herself that the world is the best as she muses on how she managed to get lip time with one, the bullies off her back, and now a personal servant. Angelica gets mad because she was raised to be the prince's wife and Jenna reveals that Angelica had nothing to do with it since it's most likely her followers acting on their own. She also warns him not to get on the prince's bad side as the first semester ends and Luxian continues to be the sassiest character in the show. Anyway, after they keep putting up with the standard treatment, Angelica continues to try and pick a fight with Marie by revealing she's basically seeing all 5 of them. But they're cool with that, even though they reveal they intend to marry her. And that would effectively make her the queen and break off Angelica's engagement. So she throws the glove for a duel, an event where that should take place much later, except she's pretty screwed because it'll be effectively 5-on-1 against her and she has no one who will be her champion. Leon, having had enough of this, decides he's going to get involved because he really hates these guys, so he decides to accept the challenge on her behalf. They lay out the rules of the match, with Leon intending to split Marie from Julius and Marie parroting lines from the game to have Angelica stay out of it. The match will be an armored duel between them with Leon basically goading them into accepting it on his terms. Marie gets pissed some mob is interrupting while Leon is getting bullied, but decides to gamble on himself since those are some good odds. Angelica tries to have him back off since she's already been reprimanded, having lost too much political power, but Leon's going through with it because he's honestly sick of it all. He'd rather put them in their place and then get expelled rather than search for a wife here. The day of the duel comes and Luxian has come through with a mobile suit that everyone mocks. Episode 4. The day of the duel happens with Olivia wondering why everyone else is laughing, and Angelica gives the short version that the match is out of fashion. Leon gets burned by Luxian, once more making him the best character in the show, with Brad bragging despite being the weakest of the 5 before he gets beaten down with a shovel. As in one-hit KO. Everyone is stunned, but Master applauds him as the others started getting worried because they bet all their money on the prince. Next up is Greg, who prizes his own physical ability but doesn't believe in upgrading his mech. So Leon just basically mocks him for using outdated gear and pisses him off to the point where he tries to one-on-one the mech with his body. Don't laugh, this stunt gets pulled off in a later volume successfully, via a lot of cheating, but still, it counts. Next up is Chris, who specializes in close-range combat with a sword. So Leon deploys drones to toy with him and then breaks his sword before stomping on his heart and his pride to basically just humiliate him. Even Luxian calls him out on that before they take a break and Leon's sister approaches the girls on what's clearly Jilk's orders. Luxian reveals that Jilk had her place a bomb on the suit, where a normal armor would suffer a fatal explosion to the pilot. Naturally, it does Jack all and he tries to scare him via blackmail about how his life as a noble will be over for opposing the prince. Leon wants that and counters his blackmail with blackmail of his own, resulting in only the prince being left while Marie is looking really nervous. That's because she knows they suck in the game, which is why she had her brother beat the game. Anyway, Leon questions what Julius thinks of Olivia as he comes out and he states nothing really. He doesn't know her except for the fact that she studies hard. And that's all for today, guys. If you liked the recap and want more summaries like this, consider subscribing to our channel.